Hey everyone, we do have some notes today, but it's only one page, not the usual 2 pages that I have up. So here's deductive reasoning, and this one goes hand in hand with inductive reasoning. Okay, and deductive reasoning, and that's just when you make a logical argument, or like you come up with a conclusion based on the following. It could be facts, the definition, rules, or like the school policy, or school rules, or even like your house rules. You know, the rules that your parents give you. If you have certain beliefs based on like your home rules, like let's say every day at home, your mom and dad say you guys eat dinner at 5 o'clock. Well, if you conclude that tomorrow, based on that rule, you're going to eat dinner at 5, that is deductive reasoning, okay? Because it's a home rule or policy. Or it could be accepted properties, or agreed upon assumptions. Just something like if you and your friends agree on something, and based on those agreed upon assumptions, if you conclude or make an argument based on that, then that's deductive reasoning. And just real quick, remember inductive, that's when you see like a list of numbers or a pattern or pictures, and then you have to identify a pattern, and then you're like, okay, this is what I think is going to happen based on what I've seen or observed. That's inductive reasoning. But anyway, hopefully you copied this already. I've been talking a little bit. Pause it right now. I'm going to lower it. But that's when you make an argument based on facts, definition, rules, policy, accepted properties, agreed upon assumptions. Okay? And then really this is all we have. We have some examples we're going to go over. There's only 4 examples. It is quite a bit of writing, and then this is the harder part of this chapter is when you're given a statement and you have to figure out, was it inductive or deductive? And hopefully after doing a bunch of these, you'll get better at it, or you'll be able to identify which one it is. So let's go through these. So here it says, tell whether the reasoning process is deductive or inductive, and explain why. Okay. So if you look at the first one, letter A, it says, after you studied the definition of a square in your geometry book, you conclude if the perimeter of a square is 4 inches, then each side is 1 inch. Okay. Now I'm gonna circle some keywords in there. First, we studied the definition, and we're making a conclusion based on that definition. Okay? Because our conclusion is based on definition, that is deductive reasoning. Deductive. Okay? And we can say something like conclusion based on definition. Okay? And I'm going to abbreviate definition, but that's definition. Now again, 2 days ago we did a bunch of them where we were looking at a pattern or a list. Okay? And then we made a decision based on what we've seen. That's inductive. This is a decision made based on a definition. That's deductive. Okay? And again, remember from back up here, you should have it on your paper. It's made on facts, definitions, rules, policy, accepted properties, deductive reasoning. So let's look at number 2. So number 2 says, Bobby learned from his mom all the days of the week, period. He later explains, since today is Tuesday, the next day will be Wednesday. Okay? That one's a little bit trickier. It's trickier. He does explain, and he learned it from his mother. That could be I would say it's agreed upon assumptions, right? Because together the mom and Bobby agreed, hey, these are the days of the week, and his decision or his explanation that because today's Tuesday, tomorrow's going to be Wednesday, is based on that. Okay, it's not based on something he's seen or observed or experienced. It's based on what he was told. Okay, so that's why I would say this one. Well, this one is deductive, and that's why I would say that deductive, because his conclusion that the next day will be Wednesday. His conclusion is based on agreed upon assumptions. Even if the mom is telling him something that's not true, as long as they agree, hey, this is how it's going to be, and then they make a decision based on that, it's still deductive reasoning. Okay, it's not inductive. Again, inductive is like one of the examples from the other day. I see a dog show up to my house every night for 5 nights in a row. Okay, so if I conclude tomorrow night that dog is going to be there, that's inductive because that's something I've seen. Nobody told me anything about it, or I didn't use a definition, which would be deductive. Okay, so let's look at the next one. The next one is Linda observes this. -1 squared is 1, -1 to the 4th power is 1, -6 to the 6th power is 1. So then she says, okay, well then she concludes that every power of -1 is equal to 1. Okay, so let me she concludes based on something she observes or something that she sees. Okay, because her conclusion is based on an observation, that would be inductive. Inductive, right? Conclusion is based upon, how about based on observation? Based on observation. Okay, it's always, if you see something or you observe something or you examine something and then you make a decision, that's inductive reasoning. Okay. So copy that. So check this out. I'm going to give you a quick example of inductive reasoning. Since these first two were deductive and this one's inductive, I'm going to assume the last one's inductive also, right? Because I see a pattern. Deductive, there's 2 deductives. I have 2 left and one of them is inductive. Well, if I'm going to make an assumption or a conjecture, that's the word I'm looking for, that the last one's inductive based on these. That's inductive reasoning. You know, I see the first one was deductive, I see the second one was deductive, and then there's 2 left, and then the next one's inductive. I can assume the last one's going to be inductive, and that is inductive reasoning. Okay? It is inductive, by the way. It says, while shopping, you notice the brand A is more expensive than brand B. You conclude that brand A is of higher quality than brand B. So the conclusion that brand A is of higher quality than brand B, it's based on something that you noticed. You noticed the price was higher, so you just assume, oh, the quality is going to be better. And again, it's not to say that the assumption is correct or not. It's how you made the assumption. You made it after noticing something or seeing something. Okay? And that's why it's inductive. If you would have used some kind of formula, or if you would have read somewhere like the FDA says this, then it would be deductive. Okay? But inductive, again, conclusion is based on something I'm gonna put observation, even though the word wasn't used, observation. Still, you notice something. Observation, or something you've seen, basically, right? So we saw that brand A was more expensive than brand B. You just don't write that there, but that's basically what it is. Observation, seen, and then again, real quick, I'm just going to go back to the last set of notes. So this was the last set of notes, where it was inductive. See, if you observe something, and usually it's like data, diagrams, tables, actions. But observing, and then we talked a lot about how that's also like seeing, examine. Those are all different ways of seeing, observing. Okay.